I will be talking about the backlog and the unified backlog, so I will be using some of that terminology. But if you are not familiar, that's totally fine. I will try to talk in a way that we all can understand. My name is Martina Slabejova, and I am a project manager, aka Agilist, within the MPEX group. And I'm working with a team, hybrid platforms, improvements, and agility. And I have some great colleagues who I will be mentioning today as well. I started to work with Red Hat like 4 years ago, and I gained some certifications since that. So I have a Scrum Master 1, I have the team facilitation, team coaching, and the Prince 2 Agile is about the project management. Before I start with the backlog, I just want to talk a little bit of my 4 years in Red Hat, because I joined as a quality engineer intern. And I joined with the processing team, which was like a small team of 8 people. And after 1 year, I figured that that's probably not my dream job, so I switched it to the project manager internship, which led to the full-time job. After a year and a half, I bubbled up more to the, higher to the bigger group, observability intelligence, and from that point, after another year, there was another bubbling up for the observability team. So for these 3.5 years, I was mostly doing the project management job, but also kind of an agilist. And from the beginning of 2025, I joined even bigger group, MPEX. And it's around like 220 people. And I'm kind of a fully transformed to the agilist. And I'm working with the leadership of the MPEX. So you can imagine me as being the Grima talking to the MPEX king and whispering to his ear, but probably or hopefully with much better attitude. Sometimes the expectation doesn't match the reality, so I just want to quick go through what you can expect to get from this session. So I really would like you to understand what the unified backlog is, and I want you to gain some kind of a practical things you can do with it, how you can implement it to your work and your day-to-day kind of processes. I will be sharing some common pitfalls and challenges that me and my colleagues kind of went through. And at the end, I want to give you some little steps how you can start if you are interested with this topic. OK, so let me reintroduce myself from the backlog perspective. Hi, my name is Maťka, and I'm happy owner of 2 backlogs, one for my personal life and one for my work life. But it wasn't like this a year ago. I was really confused. This time, a year ago, there was this picture in my head with my backlog items. It was too messy. I didn't know what my priorities are. I was slipping some deadlines. I was doing a lot of things, and I was kind of in stress. So then I just told myself, OK, I need to figure this out. So I just sat down with a blank paper, and I started to write all of the backlogs I was using at the time. So I started with the sticky notes, because my desk was kind of covered with those. I used them for small things, as from the phone calls or the meetings, when I didn't have anything. That was the quickest thing I could do. Then my sister was getting married, so we created a big spreadsheet for the organization of it. A year ago, I was also volunteering for the DevConf, and we stored all our backlog items in the GitHub. Yeah, Google Calendar. This started as a small thing, but it became one of my biggest backlogs I had. It's for the things when I didn't have a paper to written in, I was just putting there some small tasks, even to bigger ones, and some follow-up actions. So yeah, this one is OK. Jira, of course, for Red Hatters, they know this is our primary tool we are using for the backlog purposes. And a friend of mine introduced me to the Trello application. So I got excited again, and I created some projects in there. I created some projects for my house chores, for some road trips, and I'm also kind of doing a leadership role within the full group, so I created a project for that one as well. Last but not least, I was using the whiteboard with my roommates because, yeah, house chores, kind of a rotation of the cleaning stuff and things like that. So after I saw all of these backlogs, what I was like daily using, my reaction was kind of similar, like, wow, so this is probably the thing why I am slipping the deadlines, why I cannot figure out my priorities, because I need to prioritize my backlogs first. And this wasn't healthy for me. Just quick checking question so I feel better. How many of you is right now using or suffering the multi-backlog disease? Whew, okay, that's fine. Okay, but you should think about yourself and what you are doing to yourself. Perfect. So after this, when I saw this picture, I was like, okay, I need to create my own rule. So my rule, what I use, if you are using a backlog, you should use just one. Okay, two in my case, personal life and work life. But after this change, I could see that my priorities are kind of set up. I could focus more. I was delivering all the tasks and things like that. So I can definitely just encourage you to do something about your backlog situation. So I was trying to talk to the teams about their backlogs and their backlog situation. But before I would do that, I would need to figure out what is the unified backlog, what is the definition of it. So naturally, I asked ChatGPT. And this is what it gave me. So after one sentence, I like stopped reading. So it's like, oh, not for me. So I simplified it. Unified backlog is a centralized list that organizes and prioritizes all the tasks, blah, blah, blah. You already stopped kind of listening to me. So this is not it as well. So then I use my brain, and I ask one of my amazing colleagues, Nicole Wilker, and I asked her, like, okay, what is the unified backlog for you? And she said just like the simplest thing she could, and it's a single place to go to see your work in order. So really simple, really kind of elegant, and I'm using this definition since that. What it means is like whenever the time is, whenever like in the middle of the day, week, or year, you come to one place, you just go to one place and you actually see the first side, like, okay, I am going to work on this one because this is the highest priority, and I just know. So after I got this definition, I could go to Teams, and I started to write down or draft a picture. What is the common experience for the teams and how they are using their unified backlog? So this is the ideal situation, but the reality kind of feels different for the teams. It's more like there are other backlogs, there are other teams, there are like cross-team projects, and the teams focus kind of go to different direction all the time. So this is kind of a reality the teams are experiencing a lot. I don't know what you can see on this picture, but when I looked at it, I could see like, yeah, there is one happy person which is using like one single backlog, and that's probably the intern anyway, so yeah. A year ago, we had this like setup in Red Hat that we had different organization for the quality engineers and different for the engineers. So I went to the QEs because I have a lot of friends there, and I asked them, okay, what is your common experience with the backlogs? And they said me kind of a similar thing. We have our team backlog, and we are supporting other teams as well. So they were using at least like 2, 3, maybe even 4 backlogs at a time. And then what is the most exciting thing that can happen in company? Little hint, it's also the most terrifying thing that can happen. That's right. It's a reorg. So yeah, and when there is no reorg for a year, there's just one thing. What does it mean? It's something big is coming. So yeah, and this is what happened, I think, 7 months ago with our quality engineering organization and the engineering organization. They merged together. So we created kind of a mixture of teams. And yeah, this is basically the simplified picture. But from the backlog perspective, I know at least 2 teams who did this, which is not OK, which is not good. So yeah, they merged together, but they were like, OK, we will work together, but we will not change a thing about our backlog situation. This is not really a good good setup. So yeah, for what should be the good start is there should be a discussion. This is not a situation when a new team member is joining the team and the new team member needs to kind of onboard within the processes the team is already having. We merge different types of works. So the setup should look a little bit different. You should sit down and you should kind of think and talk about it. What should be the better setup for us? So how to start with this? How to have this conversation? I have brilliant colleagues, as I already mentioned, and one of them, Sarah Kairos, wrote some blogs about the org she's working with and their journey to the unified backlog situation. So I got inspired by these blogs, and I kind of used some of the points, some of the points she mentioned that I used with my teams. So stage number 1, you should definitely talk about it first. There should be a communication and some kind of a publicly declaring the direction, like, OK, this is going to happen, and we all notify this. We should definitely explain why. If you don't explain why, the transition will not happen. I can promise you that one. It's really a good thing if you are making the steps. You don't need to create all the steps, but defining the first step is really, really good with the first communication. And then acknowledging the reality. Don't sugarcoat the reality, just acknowledge, OK, this is how we are working currently, and this is what is not working and why we want a change. And definitely make a clear commitment as a leader and make a clear ask of your team, what is your expectation from them to do. For some common mistakes I see all the time is we usually use, not usually, but sometimes we use a wrong messenger. You really need, or the message really needs to go through somebody who has authority. It's really great if you have a leader talking to your team or the organization. And yeah, it's not just one time I'm writing an email and I'm sending it out, and that's it. So everybody know, and everybody will just do the thing. From the blogs, I read the magic number 7, and it's talking about 7 times in 7 different ways is the ideal kind of approach with this. I'm in a number 4, so I don't know if it works or not, but number 4 is not it. So yeah, another common pitfall is that expectations are too big. You really need to think of the thing you are asking your team to do. It cannot be anything big. Just do the reality check. Really, is it OK? Can we do this in 7 weeks or in a quarter? Whatever. And definitely slow follow-ups on expectations. So when you do the messaging, then we kind of attempt to wait at least a few weeks or maybe a month, and that's like how you kind of lose all the attention you have from that first message. Stage number 2, show me the Jira. So how many of you, probably Red Hatters, have seen this picture already in some kind of all hands or AMA session, something like that? Okay, I see 2, 3. Okay, I seen it from the big leaders at least 3 times, so I think you will see it in the future. So anyway, with the Jira or with your backlogs, it's really good to create multiple views. Don't have just one team view. To like have a multiple views just as a communication tool. So when you are talking to your leadership, when you are talking to your project management or other teams, it's great to have like different views for a lot of other purposes. The other common pitfall is that we just assume that everybody knows how to set up your views. Everybody knows how to be a backlog tool, let's say Jira jerk. So yeah, if you know how to set it up, it's really great. If you create some documentation, like help your teammates, help your colleagues, it's really great to have these tools and these documentations. Single source of truth. I had a lot of trouble with this one. You could see at the beginning, I was using 7 backlogs, so definitely, if we are talking just about like work life, use just one tool. It's really for your own good. And we often, what we really kind of often do is that we are responding for the emails, for the chats, like immediately, and we are not putting it to our backlog, and that's a really bad practice. So we should definitely think of that. Yeah, eliminate old. This was actually the first job I was having as the project management intern, as I was working with that small group of 8 people, and my task was really to just go and clean up the backlog, and it wasn't that simple task as I thought, because like, okay, I created some query, I filtered out all the things that were like 3 years old, and there was like 47 items. So I was like, this will be easy. So I just went to the team. Yeah, okay, so this is the list of 47 items, 3 years old, outdated, not updated at all. I was like, can we drop them? And they were like, maybe next quarter we will have time for those. It's the usual, right? So I was like, wow, what did I do wrong? So I didn't do the communication there at first, but I learned from my mistake. And after a few months, few weeks, yeah, it was months, I started the communication, and then they were like, okay, it might be good for us to clean it up a little bit. And after these few months, we deleted everything from like 1 year, not updated things. So it was a big win for the team. It looked really different, the whole backlog. And for sure, again, if the announcement is happening, don't just wait for the actions. You really need to kind of demonstrate your commitment as a leader, like, this is going to happen, and this is how I am going to contribute on this. I hope the product owners and product managers will not hate me for this, but I would say, like, throw away the slides. And I'm not talking about the customers and the communication with customers, but I'm talking about the team, the communication within the team. Because I saw a lot of discussions where the slides were there, and not just for the first planning, but when the team revisited the plans, there was like some old pictures, some old slides, and it was like, yeah, so this project is a little bit off track, but we know about this. This one, it's split into two. So just for you to know, this picture is not updated, but we again know this one is fine, and this we will not deliver at all. But it wasn't updated, so I really want to encourage you to use the roadmap views that are kind of a living with your whole process of the quarter or whatever sprint or like time frame you are working with, because it really helps to drive the conversations. And yeah, so these are the links to the blogs I read through from my colleague Sarah Kairos. So for those who are Red Hatters, you can click on it and read it on your own. For those who are not able to read them, we can discuss about them later. I read them all, so it's I pretty know what is in there. Last thing I want to talk about is, so when I talked about like different views of the plans you should have, it doesn't mean you need to create a view, a different view for different roles or for the communication with the different roles. So what I mean by that, we have multiple roles who are thinking, who want to see different things from your plan. When we are talking about the higher leadership, they are focused on the bigger chunks of work, about the I forgot what the bigger chunks of work are. So initiatives, for example. When we are talking about the managers, it's a little bit tricky because the managers are interested in everything, but mostly the epics and the dependencies are good enough. So for the PMs or product managers, it's really the priorities are important. Some like features, the product work. When we are talking about the team, the backlog and the view is about like storing the information in there. They want to see their what is their current plan for the next quarter, let's say. And then we have agilists who are really not interested in the content, but more like, do we have a good like valuable informations in the view, or are we using the Jira the healthy way? So what I want to say by this is that together you can create some kind of a fellowship of the roadmaps and use not that many views, use different views, but don't overcomplicate it to yourself. And with that, I just want to wrap it up with the sentence, you can definitely do it. It's not the hardest thing in the world. There are harder ones. And it will really kind of help you with your focus, with your priorities, and the dynamics within the team might change. If you don't know how to start, you can start with the communication. As we were talking in the stage number 1, you might communicate what are you going to do. You should definitely discuss why and the purposes of it. Definitely acknowledging the reality is great anyway. And yeah, just all of the things I was going through at the stage number 1 situation. And with that, I would like to thank you all for coming and for listening to me for 30 minutes. And it's time for questions. So yeah. Perfect. I don't need to repeat the questions. That's fine.
So in my experience with the unified backlog, I believe that one of the biggest challenges is prioritization. So how would you deal with that if you have, let's say, 500 features in your backlog because you're working out of a unified backlog and they're constantly evolving, like hundreds are getting added and it's like things are changing. We work in such fast-paced world. So do you have any suggestions on that front?
So we know there exists a lot of frameworks for the prioritizations, and they are all combined in different ways. So it depends like what you need to see in them. I guess you are probably the product owner or manager, because yeah, it's a lot of features and stuff like that. So yeah, for example, I can tell you maybe just one right now. For example, RISE framework, if you heard of that. So there is a multiple things that you can combine to kind of create that priority out of them, and it can be like involving as well. But we can talk about like other frameworks later because it would be another 30 minutes, I assume. Anybody else? Yeah.
So just a simple question. You start out by saying how complicated your work life and private life was with all these different tools. How do you unify your private life?
Yeah,
tool?
with that, with my private life, I can go back. Maybe I should tell that, but yeah, I have a notebook actually, and it really works for me. I have some stickies which are like transparent, and I can like highlight the things. And I'm doing like every month when there is like some crossed out spaces and some like blank spaces, I just reprioritize the list or on a new page, and I starting over. So it's kind of a as the unified backlog, we should revisit it from time to time. So I'm doing it once per month, and I'm like scratching out the things, putting out the new ones, and doing, again, the priorities of my own. Yep. Anything else? Yeah. Wait for the mic.
It's related to your personal life. Have you heard of Happy Planner? It's some kind of planner where you can like rip off the paper and put it back, because it's like
So it's something like, it's not an application, right?
No.
I haven't heard about that.
I will show you. Would like
okay.
it, I think.
Like, just
I'm not paid for that.
just for you know, I got really excited really like soon. So don't tell me about like many things like, oh, this tool is great or this tool is great, because I want to try them all, and it will create a chaos in my head again. But thank you. Anything else? Perfect. So I think we can wrap it up again. Have a nice rest of the day, and see you at the social event.